Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order the May 17th, 2021 Mount Carmel Area School District Board Meeting. Rise for pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence, please. And this month, could we please keep in mind one of our former employees, Mrs. Kathy Jepko, and her family? Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Brecker,
Here.
Mr. Britt is here, Mr. Gonzalo,
Here.
Mrs. James is absent, Mrs. Latour,
Here.
Mr. Mazzatesta,
Here.
Mr. Muldowney, absent, Mr. Zach,
Here.
Mr. Zanella.
Here.
Thank you. And at this point, I'd like to entertain a motion to appoint an assistant board secretary exclusively for tonight's May 17th, 2021 meeting to perform the duties in the absence of our current board secretary.
I nominate Mr. Britt for Assistant Secretary.
I'll second that.
Voice vote. Okay. Mr. Brecker,
Yes.
Mr. Britt abstains, Mr. Gonzalo,
Yes.
Mrs. James is absent, Mrs. Latour,
Yes.
Mr. Mazzatesta,
Yes.
Mr. Muldowney is absent, Mr. Zach,
Yes.
Mr. Zanella.
Yes.
Any announcements at this point? And I know Mr. Cheddar does have a PowerPoint to present in this section also.
Thank you, Mr. Brecker. I just wanted to start off briefly by thanking Mrs. Cindy Sinopoli and Ms. Dawn Palevich for their years of service to Mount Carmel area. Both have put in 25 plus years at Mount Carmel area. Again, true leaders in our elementary school. You guys will truly be missed. And again, thank you for everything you've done for our school district. Just a reminder to our learning community for some end of year events going on at our school district. We're kicking it off but with baccalaureate services this Sunday evening, May 23rd at 7 o'clock in the gymnasium. Be followed up by our class night ceremony will be Wednesday, June 2nd at 6 o'clock in the gymnasium. Our senior parade, this will be the second annual senior parade, Thursday, June 3rd, starting at 6 o'clock. We will communicate shortly about the route. It will be very similar to last year's senior parade. The rain date would be Saturday, June 5th in case of inclement weather on the 3rd. Reminder that the prom is scheduled for Friday, June 4th. And graduation, our graduation will be outdoors this year, Sunday, June 6th, starting at 4 o'clock at the Silver Bowl Stadium. If we would need a rain date, we would move it to Monday, June 7th at 6:30 p.m. Just one quick announcement. We would like to, again, we're very happy to announce that we were awarded a $3,000 Central Pennsylvania Food Bank Summer Food Grant Award. This grant really helps us every summer to make sure that our Tornado Buddy Bag program continues over the summer months. Currently, our district is sending 80 plus bags home weekly to students and families in need. If any community member would like more information about the Buddy Bags, please check out our main website or our foundation website. At this time, our district would also like to review a little bit about our current Esser funding and current facility projects that you will see on tonight's agenda. So let's first start with what is called Esser 2. Esser 2 funds are one-time use of federal funds that can go towards items that help offset additional costs to school districts related to the COVID-19 pandemic. As you can see there on the screen, Mount Carmel area's Esser 2 allocation is $1.9 million. Ultimately, our school district started school on time this past August 2020 with in-person instruction. According to a recent PSBA survey, only 14.3% of all school districts in the state of Pennsylvania were in person by December, let alone the start of the school year. So that's a credit to not only our administration, our teaching staff, our school board. Again, Mount Carmel area, as well as a lot of other local school districts, started the year on time in person. Mount Carmel area safely started school on time and remained in person the entire academic year. Obviously, we had our more than our share of bumps in the road, but knock on wood, we're close to making it. Our plan for our Esser funding will be to offset costs related to make sure that our school buildings are as safe as possible for our students and staff moving forward. Again, our goal is to obviously start school as close to normal as possible next fall. So again, some more details about our Esser 2 funds. Again, we are going to use that $1.9 million allotment to pay for the following. So a major goal of our administration and our school board was to improve the overall ventilation and air quality in our district buildings. Both buildings will be voted on tonight to receive new rooftop HVAC systems. The cost of the elementary HVAC and the cost of the junior senior high school HVAC is on the screen there. The district will also add what is called a bipolar ionization system, which is a ventilation system that greatly reduces airborne pathogens related to COVID-19, as well as significantly reduce the spread of viruses like the flu and common cold. We are also going to replace the high school industrial arts dust collector. The current dust collector has a rusted hole in the unit, which resulted in need for a total replacement. The cost for the dust collector, you could see there on the screen as well. The replacing and upgrading of the items listed above will greatly improve the air quality and ventilation systems in our districts moving forward. And again, we're going to talk a little bit here shortly that, again, waiting any longer by our district, these items could result in a much greater cost to our district. Just a reminder, when we're talking about Esser funding, we had a previous round of Esser funding, which was called Esser 1, which occurred last spring. That $417,000 number, our school district used to purchase items that you see there on the screen. We purchased district-wide Chromebooks and licenses for our students. We purchased online educational platforms in both buildings, cleaning and sanitizing supplies, including an electrostatic cleaning machine, mask gators for all students and staff, and desk dividers for all students. So finally, we got to talk about what's called Sr3 Funds. And this is preliminary. This money, as Esser 1 was released and spent by our district, Esser 2 has been released, and we talked a little bit about our planning. Esser 3 is preliminary. Our district has been notified about these preliminary numbers. Now, where Esser 3 is a little bit different from Esser 1 and Esser 2 is that districts must set aside 20% of the funds to address learning loss as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. So you can see again that number. That's a big number that school districts across the state. Every district has a different number, but again, that's Mount Carmel's number of 3.9 million. So where we have to set aside 20% of that 3.9. Now, again, in our district, when we started in person right away, and this is a credit to our administration, again, they deserve all the credit for this. The remediation programs occurred in both buildings throughout the school year. The administration planned virtual tutoring sessions that occurred every Monday to Thursday, starting on January 4th, right when we returned from the Christmas holiday. Students were able to log on live with teachers at night in K through 3, intermediate, special ed, English, science, and social studies. The junior senior high also conducted a remediation program during our third marking period, which provided support for students that had academic struggles in the first half of the year. The elementary school is planning in-person summer programming for our elementary school. More information coming soon on that. And there will be a virtual option for remediation for students in grades 7 through 12 as well. Again, our district will be using this funding to help supplement our inventory of district Chromebooks as well. And again, with this funding, each student in our district will have access to a Chromebook moving forward. Plans for the remaining Sr3 funds will go towards paying for the ventilation projects that I discussed on a previous slide. So again, on your agenda item tonight, our board will be voting on to approve a guaranteed energy savings agreement with McClure Company. And again, our goal is, as an administration and school board, is to improve the overall air quality and ventilation in our buildings. Again, never in our recent history has this been more important. Coincidentally, it is items that our district needed. And again, we're thankful that we're getting some of this Esser funding to help achieve some of the goals by our school board and our administration. That is all I have at this time, Mr. Brecker.
Thank you, Mr. Cheddar. Next on our agenda is recognition of Student Merit Award winners for the month of April. And at the high school level, that would be Miss Emily Britt.
Hey, sweetie, you could just sit there if you want.
Okay. Well, I would like to thank.
Let me read this first. You can thank everybody you want. How's that sound? The Mount Carmel Area Board of Education Merit Award winner for April 2021 is Emily Brick. She was nominated for the Merit Award by her English teacher, Mr. Matt Cuddick, who said, "Emily consistently strives to complete her best work. She completes every assignment to perfection, including optional ones. It's evident that she watches the video of each lesson as her work exemplifies the high standards I ask of students. She submits her assignments promptly and also responds to any questions or comments I have almost immediately. She is always polite and respectful, and she also exudes a positive attitude toward education. Emily is a four-year member of the MCA Color Guard. She is also a distinguished honor roll student and a member of the Latin Club. Emily enjoys hanging out with her family and friends, painting, drawing, kayaking, taking photos, and listening to music. She plans to attend a four-year college in the future. Emily is the daughter of Jim and Lorraine Britt of Mount Carmel, and her brother and sister Cameron and Lily both attend Bloomsburg University. Emily, on behalf of the Board of Education, congratulations. Would you like to thank anyone now?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to thank Mr. Cutter for nominating me, the Board of Education, my teachers, and my family. Thank you.
Congratulations. And on the elementary level, Mr. Dexter Hine, I believe Mrs. Latour is going to read something about Dexter.
Dexter is a third grade student at Mount Carmel Area Elementary. He was nominated for the Merit Award by his classroom teacher, Mrs. Rachel Dara. Mrs. Dara shared the following words about Dexter. Dexter Hine is this month's recipient of the Merit Award for the Mount Carmel Area Elementary School. Dexter is a natural-born leader, and his presence in the classroom makes everyone around him better. He loves to be challenged, always gives 100% effort, and shares great insight and ideas in the classroom discussions. Dexter is someone that I can look for guidance when it comes to technology, and he has been more than willing to help educate anyone in our classroom who needs it. His kind personality and witty sense of humor can bring a smile to anyone's face and makes him a favorite amongst his peers and teachers. He is courteous, compassionate, and resourceful. He never forgets his manners and is always thinking of others. I greatly enjoy my conversations with Dexter and admire and value his wisdom and judgment for such a young boy. He is someone you can count on to do the right thing, even when no one is watching. He demonstrates tornado pride when it's needed the most and has the ability to influence others to do the same. Although this year was hard and times were uncertain, one could always count on Dexter to shed light on the situation and remind us to focus on the good. I am so thankful that I got to be Dexter's teacher this year, and his future excites me. Keep up the good work, Dexter. MCA is so proud of you. Dexter participates in the MCAE wrestling program and plays football for the Coltmont Cougars. He is part of the gifted education program. He has a love for technology and a strong desire to learn through reading and doing research. He also enjoys camping, drawing, being artistic, and playing video games. Dexter is the son of Richard and Jessica Hine. He resides in Coltmont with his parents and brother Evan. Dexter is also the grandson of Stephen and Rhonda McGinley, Richard Hine Sr., and the late Tammy Krzyzewski.
Congratulations to you also, Dexter. Hopefully you're joining us virtually. And next on our agenda is approval of minutes. Sure, yeah, you guys, I'm sorry, you guys are free to leave unless you want to stay for the meeting.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
No problem.
Approval of minutes. A motion is needed to approve the minutes of the April 15th, 2021 regular board meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Latour. Let's see, that's a,
All in favor?
all in favor. Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Anybody speaking on behalf of the PTA representative report?
Yes,
today?
Mr. Brecker, I have a report from Ms. Kazmarek, the Vice President, if that's okay.
Sure, thank you.
Our next PTA meeting will be on Tuesday, May 25th at 6 p.m. It will be done using a Google Meet. A notice will be sent home with students with information needed to join. We will be voting for new members. At our last meeting, Beth Kazmarchik was voted to be president beginning on July 1, 2021. Mandy Shikatana will continue as secretary. Open positions are treasurer and vice president, as well as chair people to lead various committees such as the book fair. Recently, the PTA received a grant in the amount of $300 to put towards a science festival. Beth has also been talking with STEM Club advisors, Mr. Clayton Brown and Ms. Lexi Danilovich, about how to meet the requirements of the grant. We look forward to rebuilding our PTA program in the next school year, and we will continue to work over the summer to support students, parents, and teachers of the Mount Carmel Area School District. That is all I have at this time, Mr. Brecker.
Thank you. Are there any guests that would wish to speak to the listed agenda items? If so, please state your name and address.
We have one comment from Dexter. He would just like to thank Mrs. Dara and the school board.
On behalf of the school board and Mrs. Dara, you are welcome, Dexter. And next, moving on to administrative reports, Superintendent Mr. Cheddar.
At this time, Mr. Brecker, we can move right on to principal reports.
Okay. Senior high school, Mrs. Verano.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Just a few end of year events. Mr. Cheddar gave the schedule for our senior end of year events. It's moving along quite quickly and hard to believe that the end of the year is rapidly approaching. In addition to that, we gave Keystone exams this morning. We began with English language arts. They will be given tomorrow as well. Biology is Wednesday and Thursday, and then algebra will be next Monday and Tuesday. We had excellent participation by our virtual students who came in to take the exam. In addition to that, we have Honor Society pictures that will be taken on Friday. Honor Society, unfortunately, will be a broadcast virtually, but we will take pictures of all students who will be inducted in the Honor Society. Finally, I'd like to give a big congratulations to our music department and our TV studio. If you got a chance to see the Little Shop of Horrors production, our cast and crew did an outstanding job under the direction of Mr. Steller, Mr. Brandon Mowry, and Mr. McPhee. That cast and crew may have been very small, but as usual, Mount Carmel produces a top-notch production, and congratulations goes out to the adults and our students who did a great job. Just finally, from our music department, I also should add they have a spring concert, which will be May 26th in the gymnasium at 6 p.m. And they also have a jazz band concert scheduled for June 1st at 7 p.m. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Junior high school report.
Good evening, everyone. Junior high students completed their PSSA exams last week. We were very pleased with the turnout of virtual students. Our staff and students all did a great job. Our remediation team has been meeting with at-risk students daily to discuss their best path forward for the remainder of the school year. And then the junior high National Honor Society pictures will be taken this Friday, May 21st, 7th period, and the readings for the program will be recorded 8th period. Students who qualified received a letter in the mail. Any virtual student who wishes to participate should arrive at the school at 12:20 p.m. And I would just like to thank Colleen Kane and Dominic McGinley for all their hard work and dedication to our district throughout the year.
Thank you, Mr. Dara. Elementary school.
Hi, Mr. Brecker. It's Mrs. Stefanowski. Just like Mr. Dara and Mrs. Verano started off with thanking the teachers, the faculty and staff for PSSAs. We finished those up with the majority of our students. We still have some makeup and virtual students who are coming in at scheduled times to finish those up this week. So thank you to students and teachers for all their hard work and our paraprofessionals. Kindergarten graduation is Wednesday, May 19th at 6:30 in the high school gymnasium. Doors open at 6:15 and tickets are required for entrance. Just a reminder that yearbook orders are still being accepted. You can either order online until June 4th at yearbookordercenter.com. They're $20 each, or you can get a form from our office and send in the check with the form. New student enrollment, kindergarten registration, and transfer student registration are online on the school district's website. And a reminder that we are currently accepting applications for pre-K counts programs for the 2021-2022 school year. Interested families can access registration information via the school district website or calling the elementary principal's office for information on qualifying for the program. And lastly, as Mr. Cheddar mentioned earlier, we are having the Summer Learning Academy at the elementary school, and you can register online at the elementary school website and in Google Classroom. Registration will close at 6 p.m. on Friday, May 21st. Parents of any students referred by their teacher for extended learning opportunities throughout the summer must register online in order to participate. All students are welcome to apply, but space is limited and will be filled on a first come, first served basis based on academic need, and then second on a first come, first served basis. That's all I have, Mr. Brecker.
Thank you, Mrs. Stepanowski. Special education, Mrs. Edmondson.
Hi, good evening. Just a few things. So just as everyone else had mentioned, PSSAs were completed by our special education students. Keystones are underway this week and next week. The first week of May was Teacher Appreciation Week, so we did celebrate our teachers. I'm very proud of them this year, of all of our teachers every year, but this year in particular was certainly a challenge for everyone. We have our students preparing for graduation. I'd like to mention that we are doing in-person extended school year this summer. So for students that are eligible, it begins June 15th and runs through July 22nd. I'd like to mention that if anyone would like to check out our employment page on the district website, there are we do have some full-time and part-time job opportunities available through the special education department, other departments as well. I'd also like to remind the parents and the public that to like our special education Facebook page. This is where I will typically share district and building specific information, as well as any special education related information and community events. So the next event that I do have mentioned on our page is called Penny's Project Artability. It's a special needs art show. This is in Sunbury, so they will be accepting artwork from special needs students. I believe it's through the first week of June, and then the show is on June 10th. So if you'd like some more information, check out our Facebook page. Thank you, Ms. Rucker.
Thank you. Maintenance report next, Mr. Fegley.
Yes, good evening. As the school year winds down, I just want to once again commend our maintenance and custodial staff for going above and beyond their normal duties this year during the COVID pandemic. They did an awesome job. And as Mr. Cheddar had mentioned, with the school board's approval tonight, we'll be entering into a guaranteed energy savings project starting at the beginning of June. During the COVID era, HVAC guidelines have become a major topic. Air quality is the #1 priority. Not only are we going to be getting state-of-the-art HVAC systems, but also, as Mr. Cheddar mentioned, we're also going to be adding an air purification system that's going to effectively filter out 99% of virus particles. So I'm happy to get started with this project. As I know that the difference in the air quality will be felt immediately. I know our staff are going to be they're going to really like this when we get started with the new school year. So I'm excited to be getting involved and with another successful project with the McClure Company. And also, as you know, on a monthly basis, I'm always asking for people for applications for open custodial positions. Because we have not received any for months and months. We decided to look into a cleaning service. So with the school board's approval tonight, we'll be entering into a contract with the cleaning service to help with our cleaning needs. And finally, I'd like to thank Jim Graham and Charles Rotolo for their dedication and years of service to our custodial team. We wish them well in their retirements. Thank you, and that's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Fegley. Athletic Director's report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Brecker. Just first note is something that's not only athletic, but it concerns everybody and everything. We were fortunate, I was fortunate to be able to work with our friends at the Central Susquehanna, not the Central Susquehanna organization, in securing some COVID shots for our school. Both Mount Carmel and CSO will be working under the direction of the Department of Health with the services of Penn State Health and Highmark Blue Cross in providing that service. June 9th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. They will be fighting the shots in our high school parking lot, right behind the soccer field, down in the corner. Anyone could go. We're encouraging our student body, 16 years of age or older. If we get the okay for anybody younger than that, we encourage that as well. Primarily, my thought was when going after that is to hope to get all our athletes vaccinated, because they're the ones that are going to be out there in the next several months, intermingling with students from other school districts and other districts and sports competition more than any of our students. So I'd like to see our athletes, at least for the foremost, get their COVID shots, as well as anybody in our school district. All our students, if there's any other staff that are willing to get it, and the people in our community as well. Tomorrow, I'm going to be putting up a link on our webpage, on our athletic website, and be doing a Blackboard Connect and whatever other ways and means I can get that information to get it out. We'd like everybody to sign up for that and get that. It's going to be the Pfizer shot, so it is going to be a 2-shot situation. So they'll get the first shot, and there'll be another one set up 2 weeks after, and we'll do it again. So we look forward to that. If you give me a moment, I do want to talk a little bit about athletics here. First of all, our baseball team won tonight, 15-2 over Milton. They're 1 win away from qualifying for district, which we will hope they will do tomorrow, not putting undue pressure on them, but they beat them 15-0 several weeks ago. I hope that effort will come true again tomorrow. We will probably, in qualifying for districts, be the number 6 team. We'll probably be going to Wellsboro on Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock to play up there, and just as our basketball team, and hopefully be as successful as our basketball team when they went up and played Wellsboro. So we look forward to that and say good luck to them. And I just want to say it's been quite a year for athletics. From the fall to the winter to spring, I have seen some unbelievable athletic performances for our male and female athletes, and that continues right up to this moment. I just want to mention, I did mention the baseball team qualifying, but 2 girls I just want to mention. I can mention a lot more, but just 2 stick out that I want to say something about. Number one, our softball team, of course, we co-op with Our Lady of Lourdes very successfully. We have girls from both schools playing on the team, but we have 1 young girl. I call her Downtown Haley Brown because she's hit 9, possibly, I didn't see the last game, possibly 10 home runs this year, which is amazing for a freshman young lady to do, let alone any time to be hitting home runs. But what's so special about Haley is she's the first girl since our field was put up out on the next to the parking lot in its current condition to hit a home run over that fence. And if we all look at that fence, that is a 240-foot fence. The average fence in collegiate sports is 220. She hit it over the 240-foot fence and cleared it. That's the kind of girl that we have playing there. So we wish her the best. Also, I just want to mention Avery Dowkis, another wonderful young lady that is setting marks here as a sophomore. A few weeks ago in the Southern Columbia meet in track, she won 4 first place, which is amazing. We have had people done that before, not many, but she won 4 first place in the event. 1 being the 100-yard dash, another being the shot put. That usually doesn't happen. Shot putters and 100-meter runners are usually 2 different types of people. She's combined them both. That's the kind of person she is. But not only that, the day before, she's also playing on the softball team, right? And the day before the meet, she hit a home run, not over our fence, but an away team, at an away event. So she has easily become the first and probably ever, I don't know if we'll be able to duplicate it, first person to hit a home run in a softball game and then be first place in 4 events the next day in the track meet. So phenomenal. I hats off to them, and best of luck to our track team who will be competing in districts this week. And we hope to see several of our competitors, our girls and boys there heading on to the state tournament the following week. So thank you all, and that's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Sakavich. Moving on to athletic items, a motion is needed to approve athletic item 1 as listed.
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Brecker,
Yes.
Mr. Britt votes yes. Mr. Gonzalo,
Yes.
Mrs. James is absent. Mrs. Latour,
Yes.
Mr. Mazzatesta,
Yes.
Mr. Muldowney is absent. Mr. Zach,
Yes.
Mr. Zanella.
Yes.
Next, financial items, a motion is needed to approve financial items 1 through 4.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Brecker,
Yes.
Mr. Britt votes yes. Mr. Gonzalo,
Yes.
Mrs. James is absent. Mrs. Latour,
Yes.
Mr. Mazzatesta,
Yes.
Mr. Muldowney is absent. Mr. Zach,
Yes.
Mr. Zanella.
Yes.
Next on our agenda is committee reports. Any update on the Mount Carmel Education Foundation?
There is no meeting this month. Mr. Brecker will be meeting as a group in June. Just one reminder about the Coppice Camp will be having its 5th out of 6 years. This year, we're excited to come back. Obviously, last year, because of COVID, we could not have our Coppice Camp, but we're excited to get back. Thank you again to Bucknell, who's going to be a huge participant in our camp again. If anyone would like more information about any of our foundation fundraisers, please check out our foundation website.
Thanks, Mr. Cheddar. Moving on to new business, a motion is needed to approve new business items 1 through 10. And there are 2 additional motions, numbers 11 and 12, to approve graduation scholarship and a class night award as presented. And I would also like to read number 9, since there is an added number to that item. Approve the 2021-2022 fiscal year proposed final budget in the amount of $21,278,909.19, and to authorize it being advertised and made available for inspection as per the PA school code. Final adoption will be an action item at the June meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Gonzalo. Okay. Mr. Brecker,
Yes.
Mr. Britt votes yes. Mr. Gonzalo,
Yes.
Mrs. James is absent. Mrs. Latour,
Yes.
Mr. Mazzatesta,
Yes.
Mr. Muldowney is absent. Mr. Zach,
Yes.
Mr. Zanella.
Yes.
And I believe Mr. Cheddar wants to mention something about the cleaning situation.
Yeah, just one item for 10. Again, Mr. Fegley explained this very well. Obviously, just for our community, just for a note, again, in an era of COVID, a big shout out to Dave and his staff. Again, when we needed a cleaning staff, we couldn't find people. People were coming and going. So credit to Mr. Fegley and his staff. But when our community sees that agenda item, it's because of we were not able to fill budgeted positions. So again, it's basically a wash. Instead of hiring these positions in our budget, again, at this point, out of a need of necessity, we're moving on to a cleaning service. We're going to reassess the situation. But again, it's basically a wash for the cost of our district because again, we are not now hiring these positions, which honestly we couldn't find anyway. So just one extra clarification for agenda item 10.
Thanks, Mr. Cheddar. Moving on to personnel items, a motion is needed to approve personnel items 1 through 13 as listed.
Motion.
Second. Mr. Brecker,
Yes.
Mr. Britt votes yes, Mr. Gonzalo,
Yes.
Mrs. James is absent, Mrs. Latour,
Yes.
Mr. Mazzatesta,
Yes.
Mr. Muldowney is absent, Mr. Zach,
Yes.
Mr. Zanella.
Yes.
And I know Mr. Fagley had mentioned the retirees in his department, but part of that, those agenda items were the retirements of Cindy Sinopoli and Don Palevich, who are two longtime teachers in our district. So we definitely thank them for their years of service and all they've added to Mount Carmel School District, and wish them the best luck in their retirement. And at this point, are there any public comments and questions?
There are no comments at this time.
Thank you. And can we have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all. And the next regular board meeting is June 17th, 2021. Have a nice evening.